It was a crime that shook the country to its core and helped accelerate the march towards equality for the LGBT community. 21-year-old Matthew Shepard was beaten to death and left to die on a fence in Wyoming by two men. And now, nearly 20 years later, I had a chance to sit down and chat with Matthew's parents about the work that's still left and Matthew's lasting legacy.
The victim of what many people say was a hate crime in Wyoming this morning has died. 21-year-old Matthew Shepard was found beaten and unconscious last week near the University of Wyoming.
A hate crime, according to police, who say the two met Shepard in this Laramie bar, tricked him into believing they were gay too, then the three left together. It was 1 a.m. Wednesday morning, but Shepard, a small man, was allegedly beaten with the butt of a pistol, burned with cigarette butts, and finally tied spread eagle to the fence, left to die.
Matthew was the type of person that if this had happened to another person, would have been the first on the scene to offer his help, his hope, and his heart to the family.
Matt he could have been anybody's kid.
Everybody thought he was the kid next door. He was just a normal kid. Because he was in the theater from the time he was in the 5th grade, working backstage or as an actor.
He was so good, so professional. The only sad thing was he thought he could also sing and dance, but he couldn't.
He couldn't. No.
He could not. And I kind of felt Matt was gay since he was about 8. And so I was expecting it. And when he finally did come out, he came to me over the phone. And he just said, "Mom, I need to tell you that I'm gay." And my answer was, "Well, what took you so long to tell me?" And there's this quiet at the other end, right? He goes, "I don't understand. How did you know before I knew?"
Judy had promised Matt on the phone that she wouldn't tell me. And as soon as she hung up, she told me. You know, like I tell people.
I figure they mothers always
lie. Yeah, that's the thing. He said, "Dad, I need to talk to you. It's really important and serious." And he said, "Dad, I'm gay." And I said, "Okay, but it's late. What is it you want to tell me that's so serious? Because I want to get some sleep." And he goes,
Did you guys ever fear, not that something would happen, what ended up happening, but just, were you afraid for him when he was out living?
Well, Matt was very outspoken and argumentative. I worried more about that than I did about him being gay.
we didn't realize we should have been concerned.
I hope that in the grief of this moment for Matthew Shepard's family and in the shared outrage across America, Americans will once again search their hearts and do what they can to reduce their own fear and anxiety and anger at people who are different.
This afternoon I signed into law the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act.
Why did you guys feel it was so important to form a foundation and obviously, 20 years later, still keep it going and keep it going strong?
When Matt was still alive and in the hospital, people were sending us money. And we just felt like there was a better purpose for that money. And if people could see us accepting parents, we had lost our child to violence, they might welcome their child back because at least they still had their child. We would use this brief amount of time we had, because, people move on, to try to make a difference for Matt's friends and his peers. There was this feeling we all felt, I think, that we owed this to Matt.
When you look back at Matt's life, obviously way shorter than it should have been, what emotions?
I just feel like what we do is a celebration of his life. I'm very proud of it.
He had a lot of accomplishments growing up. He went through scouts. Judy was a den mother and stuff like that. And we saw him do all that. We saw him on the stage. We saw him with his friends. But what he accomplished in his short life was pretty amazing.
I know, of course, that you would trade it all to have Matthew back, but does it at least give you a sense of, at least it was for something?
It's really not about Matt anymore, is it? Because today's world is not Matt's world. There's so much more acceptance and opportunity for the gay community than there was when Matt was still here. So the story's not really about Matt anymore. Now the story is about you. what are you going to do to make the world a better place? The one thing I want you to remember is to never give up on you. Be your authentic self all the time, because that's really only how you ever find happiness. Don't let people define who you are. You're unique in a unique way, and that's perfect. That's perfect for you.